Hey everyone, welcome to video 2, Literature with a Chicken. Let's see how this goes today. This chicken really was not very happy about being involved in this production, but there were a couple of things I wanted to talk to you about today in regards to Tennessee Williams, the Glass Menagerie, and I also wanted to remind you all that Man's Search for Meaning is available online as a PDF, and I wanted to. She gets really nervous when the rooster crows. I think she's got some stress. Anyways, I wanted to read you a quote from Man's Search for Meaning that I'm sure you remember, because we talked about it quite a bit. But the quote is that they may be few in number, people who preserve in difficult times. They may be few in number, but they offer sufficient proof that everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way. And I think, as much as I'd hoped for all of you that you wouldn't have to deal with too many difficult circumstances, we're all dealing with one now, and I think that that's a good thing to keep in mind, that the one thing you can control is your attitude and your reaction to the circumstances. So we're living through some times that are, less than perfect, but we have the ability to choose our attitude. We have the ability to choose which color chicken. She's really not happy about this. She's like breathing heavy and everything. So I'm just moving your foot. I'm just moving your foot. Relax, relax, relax. She's about to be unhappy. Anyways, so what I'd like to do is I'd like to talk to you about Tennessee Williams and this Glass Menagerie thing. We've done Hamlet. Shakespeare wrote very much for this stage, which obviously it's a drama, so I get that. But if you remember in Hamlet, when we opened it to the very first page, it just was a list of characters, not really much about it. We watched a version where the director took great license in how those characters were displayed. They had t-shirts on and bare feet. There wasn't a lot of direction. Tennessee Williams, on the other hand, writes a play that, of course, is very good as a movie or a play acted on the screen, but also it's very readable, where Shakespeare doesn't really explain what the characters look like very much. Tennessee Williams goes to great lengths to explain and describe the characters and describe the scene and describe the background and the setting and all of that, so you can read it more like you'd read a novel. You get a better character sense, and it's not left open to interpretation. So I thought what we'd do today is just to make this quick, because no one wants to sit around and watch literature with a chicken for very long. And this chicken does not want to be involved in literature with a chicken very long. You're not getting picked tomorrow. It's not happening. Anyway, so what I wanted to do is I wanted to read through the characters. You're going to have to excuse my phone. I didn't think I could handle a book very long and a chicken, which I think was a good call. Anyways, like I said to you yesterday, if you watched the video, there are three main characters. It's the Wingfield family. There's a gentleman caller who really doesn't, he matters. He's important. As a matter of fact, Tennessee Williams originally considered naming this play The Gentleman Caller, but went with the Glass Menagerie. But the three main characters are Amanda Wingfield, who's the mother, Tom Wingfield, the son, and Laura Wingfield, the daughter. But in the beginning of the play, Tennessee Williams goes to great lengths to explain the personalities of these people. And I think it's useful knowing, before we get into the actual play, what he said these characters are supposed to be like. And no doubt you know people like this. If not yourself, you certainly know somebody who is very much like this, or one of these characters. So I'm going to pause it for a second and readjust the chicken, and I'll be right back. I had to replace the chicken with a different chicken. We'll see how this goes. She's a little calmer. All right. You ready, chicken? Okay, so first, Amanda Wingfield. She's the mother. She is a little woman of great but confused vitality, clinging frantically to another time and place. Her characterization must be carefully created, not copied from type. She is not paranoiac, but her life is paranoia. There is much to admire in Amanda, as much to love and pity as there is to laugh at. Certainly she has endurance and a kind of heroism, and though her foolishness makes her unwittingly cruel at times, there's tenderness in her slight person. So I just want to talk to you about some of those things. So no doubt you know somebody like this. I certainly do. Confused vitality. Vitality means full of life and energy, but hers is confused. She doesn't really know where to put all that energy. She's frantically clinging to another place and time. And then this one's my favorite. Her foolishness makes her unwittingly cruel. Unwittingly means unintentionally and without real thought put into it. So she's foolish, but unwittingly cruel because of it. Now, I don't know if you know anybody like this. I can tell you a story. My Nana, my mom's mom, told my aunt once. My aunt brought over her kids, I don't know, third grade pictures or something. You know, those elementary school pictures they take and you get the wallet size. Anyways, my aunt brought it over and showed my grandmother, and my grandmother said to her, "I wouldn't worry about it. Sometimes children who look like this grow up to be very handsome men." That is about the height of unwittingly cruel that I can imagine. I mean, she basically just told my aunt, "Hey, your kid's kind of ugly, but maybe he'll grow out of it, so you can look forward to that." So that's what the kind of person Amanda is. And my grandmother was a loving and lovely person, and she loved my aunt, and she loved her grandkids, but she would say things, and later you'd think about it and think, "Ooh, that was not nice." Anyways, this is Amanda. Amanda is like that. Laura, this is the daughter. Laura, because Amanda has failed to establish contact with reality and continues to live vitality in her illusions. But Laura's situation is even more grave. A childhood illness has left her crippled. One leg is slightly shorter than the other and held in a brace. This defect not be more than suggested on the stage. In other words, it's not that big of a deal. It's kind of a minor thing. She just walks with a little limp, hardly noticeable. Stemming from this, Laura's separation increases till she's like a piece of her own glass collection, too exquisitely fragile to move from the shelf. And then finally, Tom, actually, main character, in my opinion, he's the narrator of the play, a poet with a job in a warehouse. His nature is not remorseless, but to escape from a trap, he has to act without pity. This is where that allusion to the, not the tombstone, the coffin comes in. He has remorse. He doesn't want to hurt anyone, but in order to save himself, in order to escape, he's got to do it without having pity for anyone. And then finally, the gentleman caller, Tennessee Williams, describes him as a nice, ordinary young man. That's it. That's all we get. I see him at 9 minutes. I didn't want to go much further than that. The one thing I would seriously ask you to do is look at that first scene where they, in the first two paragraphs, oh, chicken, come on. The Wingfield apartment is in the rear of the building, one of those vast, hive-like conglomerations of cellular living units that flower as warty growths in overcrowded urban centers of lower middle-class population and are symptomatic of the impulse of this largest and fundamentally enslaved section of American society to avoid fluidity and differentiation and to exist and function as one interfused mass of automatism. Lots of words, but a really good meaning, and we'll talk about it more tomorrow. Actually, tomorrow you'll be watching this video, and it's Friday, so I hope you all have a fantastic weekend. Thanks for checking in. Thanks for the fun comments. We'll try to make this as painless as possible. I want you to be able to have some sort of lightness in your life. So we'll keep doing chickens. Hopefully the chickens will become more cooperative. Fun chicken fact for the day: you can tell what color eggs they lay by the color of their eardrums. That's weird, right? Anyways, she's just sitting there with her eyes closed now. Well, all right, so here's to chicken number 2 for the day, and I signing out. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Stay safe, wash your hands, stay away from crowds, and let me know if there's anything I can do. Comment, I'll give you credit for attendance, and have a great day. See you guys.